Advertising and sales promotion. In the world of competition today, we are seeing different companies or n number of companies coming into the industry and trying to communicate or reach to the customer with different means. So, advertising and sales promotion has been two of the earliest or traditional means that companies have been using, and which they are continuing to give a lot of stress on to reach to the customer. So our topic or our subject will basically be dealing with two things. One is advertising and then sales promotion. So to start with, in the first module, this would be the structure. This would be how we'll be going about it. We'll first try to understand what is advertising. So if we need to understand advertising, we understand that advertising is basically a form of communication. So we'll first, after looking at basics of advertising, we'll try to look at what is meant by communication, 1. 2, what are the different models of communication, and 3, we'll try to relate communication into advertising or different communication models into advertising. So we'll also be taking care of communication models and theories. And further, we'll have to find out what is a role that advertisement plays in the entire marketing setup of an organization. So that is what we'll be handling with the fundamental of marketing, which you probably would have already gone through or already studied, which is called the marketing mix, which includes the 4 P's. Under 4 P's, you have promotions, and it is under promotions that advertisement comes in. So we'll also be dealing with what is called the promotion mix, or popularly known also as communication mix. And finally, if we have to speak about communication mix, we need to speak also about integrated marketing communication, which is a very hot topic, which is very important, which we'll also be giving focus on. And finally, to close the module with, we'll also be looking at what are the major legal and ethical aspects of advertising. So this will be the whole structure. So let's start straight away. So what is advertising? As I told you at the beginning while explaining the module, advertising is basically a form of communication. So what is communication? You would have studied that in the first semester. It is a process by which information is exchanged between individuals. It need not be individuals necessarily, but then for definition's sake, we are putting it as a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior, or exchange of information. So to put it into the advertisement context, let's try to first look at how communication is happening, and for that we look at a model, the basic model of communication. So you will have different parties in a communication model. Now the first person is what you call the sender, a person who is actually sending a communication. In the case of advertisement, sender is typically a advertising agent or a producer or a manufacturer who wants to advertise his product or send the advertisement to a customer. We'll, for convenience, call him as the advertiser. So you have a sender who is also called as the advertiser, and then you have what is called a message. You have some kind of an information. There are different objectives for advertisement. There are different ways by which advertisements are pitched. There are different types of advertising. All those things we'll be looking at. So you basically have a message, and then you have to transfer this message. And if you want to transfer this message, you would have studied this in communication. You will probably have to put it into a transferable form, which is what you call the encoding is. So you have a sender, which is called the advertiser, or who is the advertiser, who has a message with him, who wants to transfer it to somebody. So he puts it into a transferable form, which is called encoding. And then how does he send it? He sends it through what is called a channel. You will have a channel. In case of advertisement, you might be talking about, say, print media, or television, mass media, or any form of media that you are using to send the advertisement. And once the channel is received, once the message is received through the channel, now what does the receiver do? He would decode the message. So this is how a communication theory works, and this is how you put it into an advertising context. You have a sender who is an advertiser, and then you have a message that you have to send to someone. You are encoding it for the purpose of sending, and then you are sending this message through a channel. And what is happening at the other end? The channel, delivers the message to the receiver. Okay, the receiver receives it, and he decodes it, and there is a understanding happening. And keep in mind that whenever there is communication happening, there is always a chance for a barrier or a noise, because what he would have intended might not be what the other person would have received. So you always have a chance of a misunderstanding or misinterpretation because of the impact of barriers or noise. And then normally communication doesn't happen in a one-way manner. It is more of a circular flow. That is, when you have a sender sending a message to the receiver will normally have a response. In case of advertisements, the response might be in the form of buying, or the response might be in the form of direct inquiry into the organization, and so on. So this is how a communication theory works, and this is how you attach advertising into the concept. Now let's try to look at further or more advanced theories of communication and try to relate the entire thing. Wilbur-Cramp's model is a slightly higher level of what we had seen in the previous slide. In the previous slide, we said that there would be a sender who would be sending the message through a channel, and there would be a receiver who would be receiving this message, trying to understand it by decoding it and then sending it back. Now, this person has put it into a second level, wherein he says that he has not mentioned it as a sender or a receiver. He's saying both the parties, or whatever number of parties are there, does all the roles. Like, for example, there is a person who initially sends the message, who encodes it and initially sends the message, and then there would be a receiver who decodes it, and then he'll interpret this message, and then he will have a response to this, which he'll encode again, and then he'll send it as a message to this person who had sent it to him. Now, this person will decode it, he'll interpret it, and then further he'll be sending his response. Now, what is happening? After every round, you have more clarity in the message coming in, which means that the barriers or noise in between is reducing as you pass every next round. This is what Wilbur-Cramp have tried to explain through this model of communication. Now further, if we look at another model which is more related to advertisement, we'll find out how a message is passing. Like, for example, we will be using mass media. Say you will be advertising through television, radio, or even print media. Okay. So now this message will be going into first stage, who is called the opinion leaders. Now the followers or the third person will be receiving this message only through the opinion leaders. Now this is important. This is very important as far as an advertiser is concerned. It is what you are trying to say is, even if this is a mass media, the entire target is not going to listen to it directly. You will have an opinion leader in between who will be listening, or who will be going behind this frequently, and then he'll be receiving this message first, and further it will be through him that it will be transmitted to the next person. Now this was first introduced by sociologist Paul Lazarsfeld, and he himself had elaborated it or extended it with the help of Elihu Katz on 1955. Now moving forward, we look at different models of communication, and as I had told you in the beginning, we'll try to relate it to advertisement. So basically, all communication models are centered on the 3 stages of buying behavior of a consumer. Like, for example, like to start with, you have what is called cognitive stage. On the second level, you have what is called affective stage, and on the third level, you have what is called the behavioral stage. Now, all the communications or all the advertisements will pass through these 3 levels of understanding, all customers. Now, we'll try to understand what is cognitive. Now, cognitive is the most basic level, wherein you are actually trying to create a aware, or there is some kind of a awareness being created. Like, for example, if you're looking at an advertisement, you'll be getting a teaser ad saying there is some kind of a brand coming in. You don't have clarity about it, but then you are aware that there is something coming in. Okay. And further, the advertiser will tell you there is such a product. You have no attitude towards it, you have not developed any kind of likeliness or anything, but that you have a understanding or awareness that there is such a product. This level is what you call the cognitive stages. It is a level of basic understanding about the product, knowing, perceiving, or conceiving ideas about the product. You have not gone into the second level. Now, on the second level is where your like or dislike is developing, or your emotions or feelings towards a product is coming in. So it deals with the feelings or emotion towards a product, attitude towards a product. This might be because on the basis of trial, or your friends would have told you. Somehow you try to develop understanding or more emotional attachment towards it. Either you say you like the product or you say you dislike the product. Now, on the third level, you have what is called a behavioral concept. Now, this is where, or this is what a marketer is looking at. This is where your consumer is acting. Okay. So we said at the first level, he has awareness about what is a product. Now, the second level, he has some kind of emotional attitude. That can be likeliness, he likes the product, or it can be dislike towards the product. And on the third level, he is developing a behavioral attitude. Now, how is behavior happening? It need not necessarily be based on purchase, or it need not necessarily be purchase. It can also be rejection of the product. You're understanding that this product is not mine because you have understood what the product is. You have some kind of a emotion towards the product. So you're saying this is not your product. So you might reject it. Or if you like the product, or if you're allowed to buy this, you might actually go out and buy this product. Or behavior can be in the form of seeking information, going directly to the seller and trying to seek information. So keep this in mind, because these are the three basic levels of communication process. And this is what every customer will go through. First, he'll develop awareness for the product. Two, there will be some kind of emotional attachment that he is developing towards the product. Emotional feeling, I will not say attachment, it need not be like every time. And then he has a behavior. He comes out with some kind of an act. Now, based on these three things, we are looking at the different models of advertising. Now, one of the most basic and very important model of advertising is what is called AIDA. AIDA abbreviated from attention, interest, desire, and action. Now, if you look at it, we know where each of these stages are coming in. Now, if you look at AIDA specifically, what is attention? Like, for example, you have a newspaper ad in front of you, and there is an ad. Okay, so as you're passing by, if somehow your attention is being caught, it can be because of different reason. It can be because of the layout, the copy, all of which we'll be dealing with later. But then your attention is being caught. You're looking at it. Okay, and then that is what you call attention is. And then on the second level, some kind of interest is being created. Either you're finding it useful for you, or you're finding it something new or something. And then further, you will have a desire, and then action. Now, if you look at it, attention comes in what is called your cognitive stage. Affective, you are developing some kind of an interest and a desire, and on the behavioral stage, you have a action coming in. Okay. So similarly, you have another which is called hierarchy of effects model. These two we'll be going in detail further. So hierarchy of effects model is similar. You're just talking about awareness, which I told you at the beginning. Cognitive is all about awareness, and even knowledge comes under what is called cognitive. And then your liking, preference, conviction, all those things are related to emotions that you have towards the product, which comes in the affective stage. And finally, the purchase is a kind of a behavior. So this is another way of looking at it. And again, a similar one, which is innovation adoption model. You're looking at awareness first, and then you have some kind of an interest or evaluation, and then you are trying this, and then you are adopting this. This normally is with a new product which is being recently innovated. So all these stages are very important. And further, there is a communications model wherein you are exposed to a product first. Okay. You have some kind of a exposure, and you might see this, you might see an ad of this, and then you are receiving it. If you see that there is something of interest to you, there is reception happening, and then there is a cognitive response. You are developing an awareness about this product. And then based on this understanding, based on the exposure, reception, and cognitive responses, you have an attitude being created in you, and then an intention of whether to buy it or not, or whether to go out and try this product. Finally, on the behavioral stage, you are coming out to behave. It can be by buying the product, or maybe deciding not to buy this product. So all these things are based on what is called your three basic levels: cognitive, affective, and behavior. So as I told you, we'll first look at in detail about AIDA model and hierarchy of effects model. As I told you, AIDA, you have to first attract the attention, and then secure interest, build desire for the product, and finally obtain action. We look at each of these points individually.